little drink, another little drink, another little drink wouldn't do us any harm. Another little drink, another little drink, another little drink wouldn't do us any harm.
I've always been interested in the aftermath of World War One and the families that were affected by it, and the connections that are there today. Being from Nottingham myself and a student at Nottingham Trent, and knowing the students here were affected by the war, I'm really interested into looking into what really went on. My curiosity in this area has led me to work alongside the Centre for Hidden Histories, where later on I will be meeting with one of the researchers from this project to learn about the genealogy research process and dig deeper into the lives of these heroes. I met with Michael in the archive building to get to know him and his research group a bit better, as I'm going to be working with him over the next couple of days. I first asked Michael when I met him why World War I was his focal point of study. He replied, because it's a war that affected the whole world, but especially Europe. Moreover, a lot of students like myself were involved in the war. Boys as young as 17, 18 were on the front lines fighting for the country, getting weapons, getting uniforms and learning what it meant to be a soldier. We also talked about was that we need to promote the World War I a lot better. More things, the deeper things as individual battles, the things that went on, like how the soldiers felt, like what kind of experience it was, isn't something that people know a lot about, and it's a massive part of the war and a massive part about what Michael and his research group look into. The next thing that we're going to be doing is going to the manuscripts to meet Hayley. Hopefully in the manuscripts there's going to be a lot more specific information that she can show us. Right, so what have we got here?
Okay, so here we've got some things from our University College collection.
Yeah.
Obviously lots of students from the college went off to fight, and the OTC, the Officer Training Course, had its own little archive of material about the history of the OTC. So what we have here is a newspaper.
Yeah.
That was produced by the Officer Training Course.
Wow.
And this one dates from 1914, August the 1st, 1914, so just before the outbreak of the First World War.
Right.
And this was produced to show what was going on in the training camp at that time.
So here we've got the obituary in the gong of J.M. Atkin, who was the first man from Nottingham College to have been killed. A student being killed was a big deal for the college. And so what we've got is we've got a full page obituary for the man, and we've got a portrait of him here. What we have here is a record of the university committee from the 5th of November to the 20th of November of 1915. So this was in the months following the death of T.P. Plaque.
Yeah, it's wonderful when you've got the actual documents. You can do a lot of research online nowadays, as Mike was saying, but I don't think anything can compare to actually having the actual items here in front of you and actually seeing them and touching them.
Yeah,
tactile history.
You don't really get a feel of how old it is or how it was online, because it's just like a computer screen. So obviously having it in front of you, it really means you can really look in close and get it's amazing.
And anyone can come and look at these. All they have to do is register as a reader. Anyone can come. It's history that's here for everyone.
Yeah. So I could just register as a reader and then come down and explore these kind of things.
Absolutely.
The next point of call for me and Michael was the plaque at the University of Nottingham campus. This plaque, Michael told me, commemorates men from Officer Training Corps and all the men from University College who were killed during the war. The plaque is a symbol of the OTC and has all 294 names of the men that were killed, including staff and students from the Nottingham University itself. The plaque also has some names that have been found, such as Jesse Atkin in 1914 was actually the first person to die in the war, Thomas Patterson Black, a member of staff himself from Nottingham Trent University, and then Dinsdale Altbridge was actually the last man killed in 1919. So something Michael said that was really nice about the plaque was that we can see both the start and the end of the war just from these people's names. Many of these people actually on the list that Michael was telling me were actually my age, in the late teens and early 20s. There's actually only one or two that's anywhere near the later 20s and 30s, which is something that really shocked me and kind of put home how young these men were in the war.
So I found the entry for Jacob Hardy Smith, but it's actually crowdsourced, so individual people can add material. So we have this photograph. This is a copy of his birth certificate that his family provided. And you can go in and you can do searches through census data, and you can find out who was in their family, where they were living. So we now know that Jacob Hardy Smith was born in Leicester in 1889, and this is the names of his family members. And because we're in touch with his family, we get images like this from the family collection, and we're told that that's Jacob there. We decided then to move on from people like Jacob Hardy Smith and look at the everybody else. So our first task was to transcribe all 224 names from the plaque onto a spreadsheet, which
that took a fair time.
Not as long as you'd think. It was quite straightforward. Yeah, it takes a lot longer to research the rest of it. So our ambition has been to fill in this whole spreadsheet, really. So we've gone for just the key items of data. We started with all of them with just 3 columns available: surname, first name, initials. Yeah. And as we saw when we were looking at the plaque, there's no rank mentioned on there, there's no age, there's no location, anything like that. Everybody is entirely equal, and everybody is simply presented as their name.
So what challenges did you face along the way?
Well, there's quite a few actually. I mean, partly it's the scale of the task. I mean, we've got 224 names to begin with. Some of the problems come from where data isn't there or information isn't there. Yeah. Another interesting challenge is that so far we've only talked about the men that were killed. More of them came home, and the ones that came home again didn't leave as strong a record as the ones that were killed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And gathering all that is going to be quite a large challenge, but we're keen to do it.
So what expectations do you have from the process?
We don't really know at the moment. This is part of the joy, part of the challenge of it, is that we know what we're doing at the moment, which is to research the names and get all that kind of information and collect it together, but it could really go anywhere. Yeah. I mean, really what we're doing is we're investigating as much as we can and then deciding what we can do with it. Yeah. We'd like to collect it together as much as we can. We'd like to make it available to the public and really just to contribute to the collection of knowledge that we've got about the war.
Through meeting Michael, who works for the Centre of Hidden Histories, I found out that they're a research group that really enjoys working with those from the Nottinghamshire area and just from anywhere really who want to find out more about their ancestry. They're currently working on a project on those who fell during World War I, and they're not just looking at the facts and the figures. They like to look at the personality of the person, the family around the person, like just really who the person was. You can find out yourself by contacting the Centre of Hidden Histories, where they'll pass you on to other companies such as like the archives and the other places that I went with Michael, and also by going on websites that we're going to leave a link to later. The thing that I really enjoyed about doing this process with the Centre of Hidden Histories and Michael was that I really loved working with people that were so passionate about the job, so passionate about history and finding out more, and the fact that they look at the personality and not just the facts and the figures, the fact that they look really into the people that you're related to is really good.